Hi, this is Kumar. Welcome to my classroom. Today we are going to cover the topic measurement. Why measurement is important in a science class. So, scientists, as you know, are doing different experiments and they need to measure their variables. So what are variables we are going to do in detail when we are going to do the scientific method. But for now, you need to know what are the different parameters for measurements. So starting with the basics of measurement, we have length. That is, it's the distance of something measured. If you're driving a car and you have covered a distance of 24 miles or 30 kilometers, that means you're talking about length. So it's a kind of distance from one point to another. Volume or capacity. Volume or capacity is how much something can hold or how much space an object acquires. So volume and capacity, for example, if you look at Coke which you're drinking, it will say it's a capacity of 330 milliliter. That means that can have the Coke of 330 milliliter of it inside the can. So volume is something how much it can hold or how much space an object occupies. Weight. Weight is the force with which the gravity pulls an object. So when you are weighing on a weighing scale, it gives you in kilogram or pounds. But what's weight? It's a kind of force with which the gravity pulls an object. As you know, everything comes down because due to the Earth's gravity, it's pulling it down. So that's a kind of weight. Mass. People usually get confused between weight and the mass. Mass is how much matter an object has. So what's the difference between a weight and a mass? Weight is the force at which the gravity pulls an object, and mass is how much matter an object has. So let's suppose we take an example. If a man goes to moon, is his weight and mass going to be the same? So what do you think about that? So the answer is no. The weight and the mass are going to be totally different. Why? Because on moon, the man is going to be lighter because the weight of that person is going to be less as compared to Earth, because on moon the gravitational force is really less as compared to Earth. So as we know, the weight is the force with which the gravity pulls an object. So definitely on moon the gravity is low and the weight of the person is going to be less as compared to the Earth. And mass, how about mass? Mass on Earth and moon is going to be same? Yes, because it doesn't matter if the person is on moon or Earth, the matter inside the person is not going to change. So the mass is going to be the same. So there are four different things we measure. One is length, volume, weight, and mass in an experiment. So there are different units which are used in measurement. And in our class, we are going to use metric system. So mainly in measurement, there are two units which are used. One is metric system and international standard systems. So why one metric system? Because in different, all along the corners of the world, there are different scientists who are performing different experiments. And if any other scientists want to replicate that same experiment, he needs to have the same unit of the different like variables he is using in his experiment. So if one scientist on one country is using a different unit and a different scientist on a different country is using another unit, there will be a kind of confusion because how they are going to compare their results. So the scientists all over the world should use us one unit, and in our class we are going to use the metric system. So for the unit in metric system, for length is meter and for volume is liter. Mass is measured in grams, time is second, and temperature in Celsius. We won't be much bothered about SI system, so let's be focused for metric system. So talking about length, it's in our science class we are going to use meter stick to measure length, and which unit we are going to use, that is the metric system, and for length it's meter. Volume is the space occupied by a substance, and in metric system we use the unit liter. So as we have already done in our science lab apparatus video, that the volume is measured precisely by a graduate cylinder, and it's a volumetric thing. And the mass of an object is, as we have discussed before, that it's a quantity of matter it contains. And to measure the mass, you need a weighing scale, or in our science class, we'll be using a triple beam balance. So how to use the triple beam balance, I will be discussing in detail in the class. So when you're using a mass, the metric system unit is grams. But sometime you will also see in kilograms, that is a SI system. Temperature. So what's temperature? Temperature indicates how hot or cold an object is, and what's the unit for temperature is Celsius and in the metric system. But you will see in the United States, most of the weather channels, they tell the temperature in Fahrenheit, but we'll be using in Celsius. So if you look at the thermometer, the unit on thermometer in our labs will be in Celsius. But if you're looking at any weather channel, they will be telling you the temperature in Fahrenheit. So how to comprehend if something is in Celsius? So we'll be using a conversion method to convert the Fahrenheit and the Celsius. And in SI system, it's in Kelvin. Time. The unit used for time in our labs will be seconds because it's a metric system. And it's based on an atomic clock that uses a frequency emitted by cesium atoms. So if we are going to do chemistry, you will see the cesium is one of the elements in the periodic table. So let's see. We'll be doing more in detail in the class about the conversion of the units, like from one unit to the other, how to convert that. So you have to watch another video for that. Thank you.